Welcome back to another episode of The Hardcore Casual with your boy, Bass the Kid. As always, please like and subscribe, share with a friend, a colleague, a relative, an associate, an enemy, any and all in between. It's appreciated. I guess before we start this video, I do have to send my well wishes and condolences to the family of Sharif Lawal, who unfortunately over the weekend lost his life in the ring. Made his professional debut, no less. I mean, you hear of boxers kind of, sustaining injuries and losing their life. It's happened to many that we've kind of seen previously, but to have it happen on your professional debut, I think that's a first, or it's the first I've ever heard of. So I guess I can only hope that the family can maybe take some solace in some positive memories that he's left them over the years. And yeah, it's a tragic thing, but again, condolences. I don't want to sort of dwell on it because I'm sure they've heard a lot over the last few days. So if anyone does know them, hope they see this and understand that is sincere and sad times, but just gotta, I guess, take positive from any memories that you have. But with that being said, a couple of things to talk about. So without further ado, let's get into it. So Monday was a pretty eventful day. We had the announcement press conference for Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, which is taking place live on Netflix. No charge, no pay-per-view, free to air for anyone who's got a Netflix subscription. So I'll definitely be partaking in some of that. On the undercard, obviously, of that, you got Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano taking place at 140 pounds for the undisputed titles at 140, 10 2-minute rounds. So it is back to sort of the 10-2s as we had said before. It was an interesting press conference hosted by Ariel Helwani. I won't go too much into it as such, but I guess the good thing about this press conference, they almost took it back to the old school in certain sense, where you have the press conference, you have everyone sort of speaking about their journey to get to the fight, how their fight is taking place, how they kind of see it going, and just being happy to be at such an event, etc. But then they fielded questions from the audience, which is kind of how old press conferences used to be. Before it was just used to be before it became just the promoter talking, asking a couple questions to both fighters, and then you get the face off, and then the media sort of scrambling for little one-on-one interviews. They actually, they was out there giving the floor to the media, a bit like what the WWE does after a lot of their events these days, and the UFC. So it's good that they're getting back to that. Hopefully more companies will sort of follow suit, and more sort of organizations, especially within boxing. That would be good. But yeah, the event as a whole, it seemed jovial. I mean, Mike Tyson said, look, him and Jake Paul is friends, but when that bell rings, they're not going to be friends no more. And I can kind of understand that, because if you look at Mike Tyson, he very much seems like that kind of person. He'll separate his friendship from the business, and the business is, I need to break you. Now, a lot of people are talking about him being at the age he's at, and whether or not he should be competing or having this kind of fight. But Jake Paul is the one that actually said it was Mike who wanted this fight to be officially sanctioned, in terms of to go on their records and not just be an exhibition bout or a special attraction. And it was also Mike that said he wanted the 2-minute rounds instead of 3 minutes, because he said there's more action. Like, you go for longer in the 2-minute rounds than you will in the 3. And then Amanda Serrano quipped her, now you're gonna know how the women feel. So I felt that was quite interesting. But now look, that could all be a ploy to maybe try and legitimize Jake Paul if he can do the business and get a quote-unquote a stoppage or whatever. But even though Jake says he's sitting at around the 230 pound mark at the moment, I don't know if he's that heavy, quite frankly. He might be, but this is still going to be the biggest person that he's ever actually been in the ring with, and it will be a person who's actually bigger than him naturally in terms of sort of size and frame, so not due to food or being bulked up on strength and conditioning, actual just general size. Mike has always been a big guy. 218 to 230 was just, he used to sit there comfortably without training. So yeah, it'll be, look, I understand the people who don't think it should be happening, and I'm not one who's going to argue with it. Like, I never asked for it. It's not something I'm calling for, but it's free to watch on my Netflix subscription. I will be watching, I will be making the videos, and I will be like profiting off it in some way, shape or form, whether that's to give additional content to the channel, whether that's to do a watch along and just have, you know, a nice interaction with the people that do watch and support this channel. Yeah, why not? And I maintain that as far as I'm concerned, Mike is gonna be, he's gonna be fine in there. I can't see any major lasting effects happening to him off the back of this fight. That's the way I see it. I've still got him winning this fight in whatever way, shape or form that looks, whether that's it finishes 8 rounds and he basically wins because it went to 8 rounds. Even if he was to quote unquote lose a decision after 8 rounds, that's still a win, bearing in mind that he's, you know, 57, about to be 58 fairly soon. It just reminds me a bit of Rocky 5, when Rocky faces the Antonio Tarver character, and he's in his 50s at the time when he goes to fight him, and you know, he makes it to the final bell and he gives this young upcomer like the biggest challenge he's ever had in the ring. So I'm not saying it's going to exactly parallel that, but I could imagine that that's maybe sort of the angle they're kind of going, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does mirror that sort of fight. But again, if Mike was able to knock out Jake Paul, wouldn't surprise me. If Jake Paul knocked out Mike Tyson, also wouldn't surprise me. But the fight going the distance will be the surprise, and I do reckon that might end up being the play. They may both unofficially, officially, you know, like non-verbally decide to look after each other in there. If Mike maybe lands something big, okay, let me keep this guy around. If Jake maybe sees that Mike can't hang, all right, let me just work behind the jab and not put the right hand into play. I'm pretty sure that there's things that each guy can do to to basically make it a show more than anything else. But yeah, there's that. Obviously, again, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano on the undercard. Amanda, you know, she complained about having to go to 135 before, saying, look, 126 is her natural weight class, you can't really put on the weight. Now she's going to 140. It's the second time she's been at 140 in her career, but it's her second fight there. It's Katie's 4th fight there. Will the power travel up with her to 140? Will Katie Taylor actually be able to take shots better at 140 because she's now got less that she's having to sort of drain from her body in terms of weight? I don't know. Maybe Katie might hit harder at 140, and maybe Amanda gets slower because there's, you know, she's 35 now as well. She's not a young woman. Katie's 38, but she's used to sort of carrying that weight a bit more than Amanda is, whereas those extra 14 pounds at 35, when you haven't had to carry them for so long in fight condition, maybe that doesn't work out for her. Maybe it does, because she is an athlete. So there's a lot of intrigue in both of those fights. So I'll be interested to see about the rest of the undercard, or if it's just those 2 fights. In fact, it's going to be on the card and maybe one other. It'll be interesting to find out. But yeah, the press conference, I enjoyed it. Less so the stuff with the fan questions. I don't know, the gingerhead youth that was just swearing up the place. That just seemed a bit. Nah, I think he obviously was just trying to get his viral moment, just doing anything for clout. The other little 16-year-old boy who was talking about it, like, I ain't really got the money for the gym, but I want to do this, I want to do that. And obviously Jake used that as a positive PR. All right, yeah, get in touch with one of my people's going to get your details or send you out some stuff or get you in the gym and whatever. Yeah, good positive PR. I get it. I don't know if I'm hoping that neither of them were actually plants, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they were. But yeah, look, in terms of 45 minutes, it's a 45 minutes I didn't mind losing. It was entertaining for where it was. Mike was in rare form, Jake was Jake, Amanda was Amanda, Katie was Katie, and Ariel was Ariel. So if you haven't seen it, take a look. I know we've got more important things kind of going on this week, but yeah, check it out. Usually I do 3 segments, but this video was a bit impromptu, so I don't even really have a third one that I specifically want to talk about. So I want to go straight into, I guess, the crux of this. Now, yesterday, I know a lot of people have already seen it, already digested it, but as I'm here now, I think I'm just going to do and give my take on this scenario with John Fury and the member of Alexander Usyk's team. Look, nothing that any of the Furies do surprise me, but it's like at some point you've just got to say to yourself, when do these guys just get banned from being in public events and public spaces? And again, it's not all of them. I don't want to tarnish every single Fury camp member with the same brush, because clearly it's not every single camp member. So let me just direct this specifically to John Fury. Why is it that someone who's damn near in their 60s coming up to is like the worst behaved out of the entire clan? You would normally think that children are the ones that act up in front of the father, act up in front of the mother, but John Fury is always the one, for lack of a better phrase, showing his arse out in public. Every single time he goes out there, he wants to talk about being a God-fearing man and a good stand-up guy. Like, the guy's a charlatan. Worse than that, he's actually he's, you know what I'm gonna say, like, John Fury is a piece of shit. He's like a despicable, deplorable person. I don't care what anyone says. Oh, like I know the real John Fury. I've been around him. He's a lovely. No, he's not. Like, every time there's a camera in front of him, this guy can't help but act up. Especially when he's got an entourage or people behind him or there's security around. He's the definition of hold me back, hold me back. That's him. And that whole video, now I didn't see all of the IFLs, the boxing socials. I saw the clip of what happened, but I didn't see the fact that IFL initially supposedly originally said that that John Fury was attacked by one of Usyk's team. Obviously, because you see the blood streaming down his face. But then they had to, literally everyone in the comments was like, what do you mean he was attacked? He's the one that headbutted him. You guys are horrendous. You, like, why are you misappropriating what happened and rare, to the point where they had to change the thumbnail and change the caption on the video. Now, again, I didn't see this. This is what I've heard, and this is what I've seen based on a couple other videos that have reported it. So when you've got that kind of, bias reporting from channels that should know better, clickbait is one thing, but to blatantly lie is you can get yourself in serious trouble for that. You can get yourself shut down. That's the first thing. But secondly, I looked at the entire video, so I managed to see there was 3 different videos that I saw one extended one from like the Usyk side, one extended one sort of from the Fury side, and then sort of one just kind of in the middle. And the first thing I saw like, okay, you got the Fury side, Fury, you got the other ones, Usyk. Like, no one's, from what I could see and from what I could hear, because I'm listening to the audio, no one's cussing. I can't hear anyone is cussing Fury or like, oh, Fury's a bum, he's gonna lose it. All I can hear is Usyk and the Furies. We're the Furies. We live for this. Like, your boy's getting smashed or whatever they were saying. Right. So Usyk's, Furies. You see Big John Fury now, he walks up into a couple, like tries to push himself up on one of the security guards, gets kind of moved back, looks around, looks at 2 guys, both next to him, roughly the same size as him, if not slightly bigger, looks at them, okay, walks past those. Now another one of Fury's camp is literally he's just walking. He walks past John Fury. He actually, and if you can see from one angle of the video, he doesn't say anything. He's not even chanting Usyk at this point. Maybe he was before, but he's not right now. He walks past him, doesn't say anything. John Fury turns, looks at him, looks down on him, says something. The guy, I think at that point, says Usyk, and then John Fury headbutts him and then ends up splitting his own head. Now, first things first, he's an idiot. He's a clown, because anyone knows if you're the taller guy, you don't go to headbutt someone that's smaller than you, because you're hitting the hardest part of their head, and chances are you're gonna be hitting them with a softer part of your skull. If you are anyone who headbutts someone, you either gotta be eye level with the person, or you've got to be the shorter man. so that you can create maximum damage. The person who's taller normally ends up worse off. Hence why when Anthony Joshua had the head clash with Carlos Takam, which busted up his nose from way back in 2017, he ain't never really been right since then. And anytime you get like the shorter guy that sort of springs up and the head comes in, it's always a taller guy that ends up worse off. Why? Because the smaller guy has got the hardest part of their head making the firmest part of the contact. But you've got John Fury, Mr. Big in the Britches, who's supposed to be a street fighter more than anything, so should know this as just basic physics, like goes to headbutt this you and ends up covered in blood, trying to act like he's the victim after. Oh yeah, blood and guts and horror and glory be to us and and I don't care about this, you know, I'll stand proud, like whatever he's saying and whatever foolishness he's talking. Like, the guy should have been kicked out of Saudi Arabia from that happened, and then he gives this half-hearted apology about, apologize, but you know it's emotions, and you know they were saying they were being disrespectful, so I had to defend my, like, what was the disrespect? Now, unless there was something that was said 10 minutes before the videos came on, all right, I can maybe retract a piece of what I'm saying, but we all saw the videos. In none of those videos did any of those people provoke you, get physical, or be anywhere in your space. You said, oh, he got in my personal space, so I retaliate. The guy was walking past you and you stepped to him, so what personal space was he getting in? Like, this guy is a cretin, seriously. Like, there's few people that I genuinely will dislike as people like that, but when you look at the case of, he serves no purpose being there outside of being Tyson Fury's father. He's not the trainer, he's not an organizer, he's not the manager, he's not a scheduled planner. He's just there as a piece of an entourage. What, because he's the head of the Fury clan, he just thinks he can get to act the way he wants to act with impunity. So, you know, when he was in, you know, when Dillian White went and called him out, I thought you were Steve Bunce, and that would have been a bit more disrespectful. He didn't say nothing about that. When he met up with Anthony Joshua the last time in Riyadh, the Francis then gone, you think, oh geez, like, you're a huge lad after all of the my son will break him in the past, but all nice when he's around him. But this young little guy who's probably about 5'8", 5'9", is the one you want to go after, or the Carl Framptons of this world. From what I heard, the person that he got put in jail for nearly blinding was also a much smaller guy than him, and he seems to try and pick on like little guys to make himself seem bigger. But when it's someone of his own size, Mickey Theo springs to mind, all of a sudden there's a million excuses why you can't do something. Like, and look, again, I'm out here face out in the public. I could probably get myself in big trouble for saying what I'm saying, because I end up at a lot of these events. I spoke with Shane Fury a couple of months ago, and I said to him, look, you're probably one of the few Furies that I actually respect. I respect when you say stuff, and I value that you normally will try to tell it like it is as much as you can. I said that to Shane, but like, I don't have time for anyone else apart from Shane and Peter. I've said that from time, and I stand by that. And again, if I get myself in trouble for saying what I'm saying, so be it. Like, John Fury is a piece of shit. He should not be allowed to any of these events moving forward. There's a reason why he could never get to America, why he's been banned from there. They should ban him from Saudi as well, because he ain't got no behavior, can't behave himself, acts a fool, and throws every time he's around somewhere, he has to throw things into disrepute. He has to be the center of attention, whether he's flipping over tables at misfit shows that have got nothing to do with him, like trying to potentially fight Deontay Wilder at press conferences when there's a bunch of security around for the sake of it, you know, going after little guys like I said, Carl Frampton, and this guy always got to be there shouting his mouth off. Like, the guy serves no purpose. Get him out of there, and furthermore, get all the Furies out of the boxing. Maybe we'll leave Fury for the minute because he doesn't seem to be focused on the same thing they are. But the sooner all of them get out of it and we get rid of this circus that we don't need. Don't get me wrong, there's other poor quality individuals out there as well, but if you get that clan out of there, then you get the entire entourage. At least with the others, it's literally just one person. It's normally the fighter that's an idiot. This one is like near enough 70 to 80% of the entire entourage is just there good for nothing, there for no reason, and it's about time it changes. But look, I'm gonna leave it there. You guys put down in below what you think. Like do you respect what John Fury did? Do you think he's just like trying to bully these little guys? Do you think he's a coward because he went after the smallest guy there, who still tried to get to him? He still had to get moved back by the security guards after he headbutted him. You know, this little guy who's not got nothing wrong with him. Maybe he got a slight little bruise on his forehead. Like, he's probably sitting pretty after this. Maybe, you know what, if you look at it from another angle, he might actually say, you know what, thank you, John, because you've just made me infamous. Now people know my name. They didn't know me before. They know me now because of what you've done. And you're the one that came off worse for it. You're the one that came off looking like a sucker, whereas I came off looking heroic. Thank you. Maybe we look at it from that angle. But yeah, look, that's how I'm seeing it. He's a bully. He's a charlatan. He's a coward. He's a piece of shit. He needs to be removed from all boxing events. He should be banned from boxing events. Let him do Zoom calls for until Tyson Fury retires and Tommy Fury retires and Roman Fury retires, because outside of that, he doesn't deserve to be in these spaces. And it's about time people, especially the British media and the British media outlets, stop giving him and the rest of that clan a pass for being fuck-ups. Yeah? Plain and simple. That's my thoughts on it. Thank you guys for watching. If you hate the video, cool. I don't care. I'm getting shit off my chest. This is how I feel. If you like the video, brilliant. Anything in between, again, leave the comments. Whatever you want to say it. I ain't got a problem. You know, I'll stand 10 toes deep on everything I say. You guys know that by now. But yeah, like, subscribe and share. A lot more content coming out throughout this week, so thank you very much if you are enjoying it. Commiserations if you're not, but for right now, it's the Hardcore Casual out.